Why is US healthcare so unhelpful? Is it misogyny, inadequate medical education, or medical professionals losing motivation? In my opinion, yes, all of them play a role. But even together, they still don't fully explain it. Because healthcare systems are never just medical systems. They are social systems, psychological systems, and yes, you will expect this from me, they are democratic systems. They reflect how a society organizes trust, responsibility, and power. And when you look at the United States and Germany side by side, something really fascinating appears. Not just different healthcare systems, but different democratic psychologies. Social scientists have a term for the way institutions develop over time, and they call it path dependence. Path dependence describes a simple but powerful phenomenon. Early institutional choices create trajectories that become increasingly difficult to change. The longer institutions exist, the harder they become to replace. Entire industries grow around them. Jobs depend on them and people organize their lives around them. And eventually the system begins to feel inevitable, even if the original choice that led to its creation was temporary. And the United States and Germany really offer a remarkable illustration of this idea. The reason Americans get healthcare through their jobs has almost nothing to do with medicine. It comes from World War II. We're sorry about that. During the war, wages were frozen to prevent inflation. Companies could not offer higher salaries to attract workers, so they started offering health insurance instead. Then in 1943, the IRS ruled that employer-based health insurance would be tax-free. And suddenly the entire healthcare system started organizing itself around employment. Employers built benefits systems around it. Insurance companies expanded around it. Hospitals built billing structures around it. And millions of families began receiving healthcare through their jobs. So a wartime workaround became the backbone of a nation's healthcare system. Across the Atlantic, countries were facing a different but equally urgent question. How do you rebuild a society after catastrophic collapse? Long before World War II, Germany had already experimented with social health insurance. This happened under Otto von Bismarck, who had introduced national health insurance in the 1880s. After the war, that model was not dismantled, but expanded. Healthcare became a part of the reconstruction of West Germany and the development of the social market economy. So basically we have two democracies and two institutional paths and two very different healthcare systems. The lesson many European governments drew from the collapse of democracy in the first half of the 20th century was really important. Democracies do not survive on elections alone. They survive on social trust. And social trust grows when citizens believe that the system will protect them when they're at their most vulnerable. So healthcare became part of democratic infrastructure, not as a medical service, but as a stabilizing one. And this is where we put our psychology hat on. Political scientists studying dozens of countries have repeatedly asked the same simple question. Generally speaking, do you think that most people can be trusted? Countries where more people answer yes tend to support universal social systems, including education, healthcare, and social insurance. Countries where trust is lower tend to prefer market-based solutions. Germany's system assumes that risk should be shared, which is a huge part behind the idea that you are legally required to have health insurance here. The American system assumes that individuals need to navigate risk based on the market and employment. Neither model is purely right or wrong, but they create very different institutional landscapes. Now, healthcare systems do not only treat illnesses, they shape how illness is experienced in society. So yes, in my opinion, misogyny plays a role, as does education and bureaucracy. But they are pieces of a much larger puzzle, because healthcare systems are really moral maps of a democracy. They reveal how a society answers a fundamental question. When someone becomes vulnerable, who carries the risk? The individual or the market, or all of us together? And different democracies, current or former, answer this question differently. And once those answers become institutions, they become extraordinarily difficult to change. I believe there's a lesson hidden in the story here. The systems that shape our lives most profoundly are often not created through grand debate or careful design. They emerge from temporary decisions made under pressure. A wartime wage freeze, a tax rule, a political compromise, and over time, those temporary decisions harden into institutions that last generations. So when we talk about healthcare, we're not just talking about medicine. We're actually talking about the psychology of democracy itself, about trust, responsibility, and the invisible choices societies make about how they care for one another.